she deduced the existence of a creator. Well, if Newton could be fooled, this is something worth paying attention to. It suggests that we, of doubtless inferior intellectual accomplishment, might be vulnerable to the same sort of error. For a visual representation of the solar nebula, see the PDF that accompanies Chapter 2. I would like now to come to what is called the anthropic principle. If you study history, it's almost irresistible to ask the question, what if something had gone in a different direction? What if George III had been a nice guy? There are many questions. That's not the deepest, but you understand what I'm saying. There are many such apparently random events that could just as easily have gone another way, and the history of the world would be significantly different. Maybe, I don't know that this is the case, but maybe Napoleon's mother sneezed and Napoleon's father said, Gesundheit. That's how they met. So a single particle of dust was responsible for that deviation in human history, and you can think of still more significant possibilities. It's a natural thing to think about. Now, here we are. We're alive. We have some modest degree of intelligence. There's a universe around us that clearly permits the evolution of life and intelligence. That's an unremarkable and, I think, as secure a remark as can be made in this subject, that the universe is consistent with the evolution of life, at least here. But what is interesting is that in a number of respects, the universe is very fine-tuned, so that if things were a little different, if the laws of nature were a little different, if the constants that determine the action of these laws of nature were a little different, then the universe might be so different as to be incompatible with life. For example, we know that the galaxies are all running away from each other, the so-called expanding universe. We can measure the rate of expansion. It is not strictly constant with time. We can even extrapolate back and ask how long ago were all the galaxies so close that they were in effect touching. And that will surely be, if not the origin of the universe, at least an anomalous or singular circumstance from which we can begin dating. And that number varies according to a number of estimates, but it's roughly 14,000 million years. Now, the period of time that was required for the evolution of intelligent life in the universe, if we are unique and we define ourselves immodestly as the carriers of intelligent life, a case could be made, for other primates and dolphins, whales, and so on. But for any of those cases, it took something like 14,000 million years for intelligence to arrive. Well, how come? Why are those two numbers the same? Put another way, if we were at a much earlier stage or a much later stage in the expansion of the universe, would things be different? If we were at a much earlier stage, then there would not be, according to this view, enough time for the random aspects of the evolutionary process to proceed. And so, intelligent life would not be here. And so there would be nobody to make this argument or debate about it. Therefore, the very fact that we can talk about this demonstrates, it is argued, that the universe must be a certain number of years old. So, if we only had been wise enough to have thought of this argument before it had bubbled, we could have made this spectacular discovery of the expansion of the universe just by contemplating our navels. There is, to my mind, a very curious ex post facto aspect of this argument. Let's take another example. Newtonian gravitation is an inverse square law. Two self-gravitating objects, move them twice as far apart. Gravitational attraction is 1/4. Move them 10 times farther apart. The gravitational attraction is 100th, and so on. Turns out that virtually any deviation from an exact inverse square law produces planetary orbits that are, in one way or another, unstable. The inverse cube law, for example, and higher powers of the negative exponent mean that the planets would rapidly spiral into the sun and be destroyed. Imagine a device with a dial for changing the law of gravity. I wish there was such a device, but there isn't. We could dial in any exponent